Hi guys, and welcome once again to Curated Logic, where we try and up your brain game. It is time for Heat 3 of the Trivia app Throwdown. If this is your first time hearing about the Trivia app Throwdown and you want to know more, check out Heat 1, linked into the description below. Today, we have trivia apps going head to head, and they are Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Quiz Up, TOT or Trivia, and Sporkle. Let's see which one of the four reigns supreme. Choosing fourth place today was not a hard ask. This is not because of the questions, it is not because of the design, well, not directly anyway. It is because I started playing this game 4 times and never got through an entire game because the app continually crashed. That app was Quiz Up. Now, I have had apps crash before, as I'm sure we all have, and there have been times I have been sure it was my phone and not the fault of any particular app, usually because most apps I opened at the time would crash. But I have only recently got a new phone, and no matter what I did, whether it was close and reopen the app, reset my phone, hard reset my phone, nothing worked. And once it crashed for the 4th time, I was done, and the 15 minutes I gave each app was basically up. Of the little I got to play Quiz Up, I must say I was not overly impressed anyway. The categories are a mixture of really broad and really specific, but do not have seemingly any cohesion or reason for some of the specific categories, and the design with an ad basically always playing somewhere on the screen at any given time is distracting and not very enjoyable. The game itself felt stilted and is very American focused, so isn't the best for international players. Overall, I can't say that it was a great experience, although it probably would have been better had I actually been able to play the game properly. Getting into apps I was actually able to play, in third place comes TOT or Trivia. This game is interesting, and to be honest, I actually like the premise of it more than that of the second placed app. The trivia portion of the app, on which I focused, pits you against a group of other contestants, and as people answer a question incorrectly, they are out of the game with whatever level the prize money is at that point, with the prize money going up as more people leave the game. This is a type of game that feels so familiar, but if you ask me to name an actual game show or game that is also played like this, I couldn't. That is not to say there isn't one out there, it is just to say that the idea has definitely not been overdone. The graphics of the game are poor, and the only animation that happens after people lose that I actually liked was when they got thrown in the air like ragdolls, but really, the game is about the trivia, not the graphics. Although the game does offer different outfits for you to buy, which is often a pet hate of mine if they are exorbitantly priced, the choices players have are to spend their gold winnings from the games, which could easily be enough in a few games to buy most things. So from that aspect, the game is still quite good. You don't have to spend your own real money in order to get useless things. However, I experienced 2 things in TOT or Trivia that really pushed its grade down. The first were the ads. There are just way too many. Literally, after every second question, you are hit with an ad. Want to triple your winnings after you finish? Ad. Answer incorrectly and want another go? Ad. It was just too much. I would be more than happy for an ad after every full game, as usually a game lasts no more than a few minutes. But I was basically getting an ad at least every 30 seconds, and that is ludicrous. I imagine the thought process is that people will want to spend the $4.49 and buy the game ad-free because of this. But all it made me feel was that I didn't want to give any money to the game, and that $4.49 was far too high a price for what was being offered. The other thing that happened was not massive, but one of the questions, which was about Scooby-Doo, gave an answer from the French version of the cartoon rather than the original English. This difference in the answer was that Shaggy in French is known as Sammy. Although this would not usually be an issue if the question specified you were looking for the French alternative, it did not. And given the game is in English, it is expected that the answer would be the same. This is not a massive thing, but as I've experienced other apps going above and beyond to understand its audience and cover all bases for answers, this was a little letdown. 2 down, 2 to go. And of those two, the one that missed out on the top spot was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? There appears to be this breed of game show and board game apps that have come out over the last many years that all have similar playing styles. That is, you travel the globe from city to city, earning gifts and coins in order to be able to move on to the next city and adorn your profile with that city's banner. Typically, I find these games have way too much going on, and yet are so very one note. That was how I felt for the most part about Millionaire. The questions were quite good, and the game itself was fine, if not a little repetitive. Gameplay basically followed the Millionaire structure, except that you were pitted against a challenger, the winner being whoever was able to answer more questions correctly. If you did, you won coins and gifts that earned you further lifelines, gems, and prizes. To have to play against an opponent every time I can't say I was thrilled about, but it did not really detract from the game too much. What detracted from the game, as has happened to so many other apps, was everything else. Like I spoke about when reviewing Jeopardy last week, the added extras like the gifts and gems are unnecessary and add fluff to what really should just be a simple trivia game. Like Jeopardy and many other apps I have played, these prizes appear less as actual benefits for the players and more as lead-ins to get people to spend real money to buy more gems and more useless fluff in order to be able to do better at the game. And when you're paying $10, $20, $30 sometimes at a time for gems, I just don't think it's worth it. Also add to this, even when you win a gift, you have to wait until it opens unless, of course, you use your gems. This again just seems like a further grab for cash and doesn't make me want to go back. But when all is said and done, the actual playing of the game was mostly fun and interesting, and I learnt a lot of stuff along the way. And the game itself wasn't interrupted by endless ads, so that is why Millionaire makes it at number 2. That means that the number 1 spot goes to Sporkle. I must say, to be honest, I did not expect Sporkle to win a round necessarily, as I have played it before, and what it lacks as an app and as a website is one of the main reasons I am building the Curated Logic site. Aesthetically, the app is lacking, and the way the quizzes are set out and categorized is messy and confusing. You're more likely to stumble across something enjoyable rather than seek something out and find what you want. But as much as the number and variety of quizzes adds to this confusion and mess, it also can add to the enjoyment. There are so many different types of games to play on Sporkle with a massive amount of niches and broad topics that you almost always find something interesting to do, whether actually searched for or not. Some of the quizzes are super quick, like 15 seconds quick, while others may be 20 minutes or longer, so you can usually fit in a play at any time. I did come across an issue with one game that asked me to name the European capital cities as each was shown on a map, but the map was nowhere to be seen. But I think this was a compatibility issue between the website and the app, so it didn't bother me too much as there were plenty of other capital city quizzes that I could do and try. At the end of the day, although the setout was the worst of the 4 apps, it was the content that won this round for Sporkle, as in a trivia app, it is the content of the quizzes that is so often the most important thing. So, Sporkle is into the grand final. Keep an eye out for Heat 4, which will be coming in a couple of weeks or so. And if you want to continue upping your brain game, follow Curated Logic on any of the socials listed below, or you can support us through Patreon, which is also listed below. Until Heat 4, or the next video you watch, I hope wherever you are in the world, you are keeping safe and happy. Keep upping your brain game, and have fun. See ya.